You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Winner of the National Edward R. Murrow Award for Overall Excellence in Television.
We are in the 608 this morning with some local advice on smart salting this winter.
Great for every homeowner. Josh Breider's live along Lake Monona in Madison with this story. Gorgeous backdrop there, Josh.
Hey, this is the best live shot location in town, guys. This is my favorite spot, and we're here along Lake Monona for good reason. I know Chris Reese has some mild weather in the forecast this week, but we've got to talk about winter. We're talking about smart salting tips with Wisconsin Saltwise this morning. Allison Madison is with us, and you've got the 3 S's that's going to help us out this winter.
Yes, Josh. So what Wisconsin Saltwise tells people is shovel, scatter, switch. And if you're like me, you've been maybe walking around on some salt in the last couple days, just on bare pavement, it's a sign we've been putting too much salt down. So what we want to remember is shovel first. So make sure you have a good shovel with a nice blade that can get that snow up off the pavement so it doesn't form ice and form those slick spots. The next thing we say is scatter. So a small cup, 12 ounces, is actually enough for 10 sidewalk squares or 20 feet of driveway.
That might be a reality check for a lot of folks this morning.
Right? We just like throw it down, and then of course, yeah, it's sitting there afterwards, and that salt's not needed. It's a waste of money, and it degrades our concrete as well as impacting water. So shovel first, then scatter, and then we remind people to switch. So not necessarily today, but probably in the deep of winter, we'll have those really, really cold temps. And once the temperature drops below 15 degrees, salt isn't effective at removing ice anymore. And what you want to do is switch then to sand or something else for traction.
So the important thing really is to have the right tools. I know you had mentioned obviously that cup is enough to, what, 10 sidewalk?
Yeah, 10 sidewalk squares.
So having the right tools to make sure that you're not just throwing salt everywhere is important.
Yeah, so what you've got in your hand there is a little shaker tool. You could buy something like that, or some people use like old Parmesan cheese containers, or just, yeah, there are other handheld devices, but it's just a way to remind yourself, like, how much salt do you really need to be putting down?
And everything that we do now is only going to help us protect our beautiful waterways here in the 608.
Yep, we are seeing the salt concentrations go up in our area lakes and streams, and also in our drinking water. So we're really protecting our water resources long term by using salt wisely.
Yeah, what we do now is only going to help us later, Allison. Thank you so much. Appreciate your help this morning. Of course, we'll have all of this up on channel3000.com as well. I know even with those, 50s and 60s in the forecast this week, guys, it's kind of hard to talk about this, but it's going to be here before we know it. I know we saw a little taste of it over the weekend.
Yeah, a couple of things I've learned this morning. You can reuse salt.
Yeah.
I did not know that, Josh. And you only need that little cup for, what, a 20-foot driveway?
Isn't that a reality check? Because I think a lot of times you go into your salt bucket and you just start spreading it, but you really don't need that much if you are following a nice process. You know, you've got the 3 S's, that shovel, you've got the scatter and the switch, and that's going to help it. And then, yeah, sweeping it up and reusing that salt, it's only going to save you and our environment in the long run.
This is such good advice because everybody in Madison cares about our lakes. Everybody wants to take care of them. So I love this. Some good real-world tips this morning, Josh. Thank you very much.
Remember to let Josh know what inspires you in the 608. Reach out on social media, or you can email him. His address is in the 608 at wictv.com.